So, I just want to talk about me and God. Ever since I was little, I knew that God was real and I knew the devil was real. I came from a semi practicing Catholic family, but we believed in the part where idol worship was really important, where you prayed to the Virgen Guadalupe, which is Mary's mother. I mean, Jesus' mother, Mary. See, it's like confusing already as an adult. St. Peter, St. Paul, and then you'd get certain statues of saints, and I would see them offer one candy, offer one gold, other one whatever, and they would like real life pray to these little statues. I went to catechism for a while when I was younger, but I didn't like it, and I wasn't able to make my first communion or my first confession with the rest of my brothers and sisters. I can't tell you why I was able to quit because my mother was super strict and I just didn't like it, didn't want to go anymore. I know for me personally, I was afraid every time I walked into church and I seen these images of Jesus on a cross. All of these other things just looked like really demonic to me. So, I lived my life. I knew God was there, but then I thought that, oh my gosh, He is such a horrible God if He allows me to go through all the stuff that I go through, because I went through, some physical abuse, some sexual abuse, some emotional abuse, some physical neglection. There's physical abuse and then there's like physical neglection. And I mean, loving and hugging your children and holding them and, all that other stuff. It sounds really bad. And at some point in this video, you're going to hear me talk about some bad things and you're going to hear me also laugh about some bad things and make fun of them because I made it. I'm an overcomer. The devil is a liar, and what the world tried to use to destroy me, God actually used that to build me up, and I'm super grateful for that. So I remember being like 13 and I went to this religious camp. Like, I was in a foster home, and when I left the foster home, I came back home, and this girl that was at the foster home ended up coming back, and then my mom found out like she worshiped the devil. I didn't think anything of it. It was just, this is girl, she's stupid. And then my mom said she was sitting in, we lived in this whole house back in the day, and from the living room you could see the kitchen, and my mom said she seen someone sneaking and she thought it was one of us, so she went to go call upstairs, and we were both up there. We both came down, so she was kind of freaked out about that, and I told her the girl, was a devil worshiper. Mom kicked her out, and I had to go to this religious camp for this like summer camp for a week. And while I was there, something happened. Like, I never fit in with anybody. Like, I was never popular. I was never the prettiest. I was never like, oh my gosh, Tanya's here, I'm so happy for her. It was never ever like that. Like, the lamest person on the face of the earth. Like, I was in that group. So I remember being there and the Holy Spirit touching me, and I just felt some type of way, and I wanted to live my life different. At the end of that 7 weeks, when my mother came to get me, I tried to tell her about Jesus and what I experienced, and she was just like, "Look, all of that Jesus stuff, you can just cut that out right now. Don't nobody want to hear it. You ain't better than nobody." And it kind of just didn't even think about God anymore. Like, it's whatever. When I was 23, I tried to commit suicide by taking 5,500 milligram Tylenol, and I wanted my liver to explode. My mother was in prison. My brother was in a gang. My sister was out here gang banging. My 16-year-old sister was just running around, and it's me, and I'm 23, and I got 3 kids, and like, it was just super rough. So I felt that it would just be better for me to stop the suffering if I would, end my life. And I talk about, that situation somewhere else. But it was in that moment that God was like, look, you're going to stop bashing my son. And what you have learned thus far has been a lie. So God, really made it a point to be in my life more and make me more aware of his presence, but I would always shoot him down. Like, I didn't have time for God. Like, yeah, God, you out there, I'll holler at you, good looking, God, whatever, but I never had time for him. And it would be like that for probably the next 15 years. Like, I would try to go to church. I would try to, read the Bible. I would try to live my life differently, but I was always trying. And it wasn't until I fully, gave it up to God and let go of some things that he came in and he moved. So I let go and I let God in more, and I started reading more and I started trusting him. And that's when my blog, The Ultimate Relationship, was created. So it was like 2014. So it's, I'm very hard headed, very slow, not